Hello and welcome to our community discussion. This encounter is one of the most important times of being able to get together as a community and discuss today probably one of the most important topics of health that the whole world really needs to know about. We have solutions in our hands. They are there. And we are glad to be able to share these solutions with you as time goes along. So without further ado, we're going to turn the time over to the first about period of time over to Judy. Now, the rules of engagement here are very simple. If you have a question, if you have a comment, if you have a feeling that you want to communicate something, whatever, just unmute your microphone and join on in, join the discussion. Anything goes here pretty much along the topic of discussion today. Today, we are going to have a topic on preventative medicine or preventative health care. And you'll start seeing why it is so important that we focus in on these important topics. All right. Well, our master coach, Judy Fenton, is with us today. She has been an RN, a nurse in major institutions and institutions in her community for many years, and has seen
many years.
has seen almost everything that there is to see of the medical system and alternative systems and whatever. So we are absolutely it's a great pleasure to have our master coach on with us today, Judy Fenton, to lead us off in our discussion. So take it away, Judy.
All righty, Ro. Welcome, everybody, and so happy to see these sweet smiling faces. Most of them are smiling anyway. There you go. Anyway, I know that most people have heard my story. How I don't know how I got here because I was led. I didn't know what I wanted to do after high school, but my favorite cousin was a nurse. So I thought, well, maybe I'll go into nursing. And I really had no love for it or anything like that. I don't know why I even did it. It's just other than that, the fact that my favorite cousin was one. And so I thought I'd go in there too. Well, it has led me along a path of so much learning that I could never have even dreamed of. And then, of course, my sister, who I love very much, got cancer and ultimately died, but lived much longer than they predicted because of an alternative way to treat herself. And that's what we're going to learn more about today, as alternatives can prevent real sickness. And it's a sad road we're on, but we can get rid of that. We can stand up for ourselves. So let me share this screen here and pull up my PowerPoint. Well, that's the wrong one. That's how you go here. I think we're on the right one, but how did I get? No, we're not. We're on Gary's. Okay, let me.
Yeah, I'll just drive today. Just tell me when to bring it to the next one, if that's all right.
Well, yeah, but I want mine.
Oh, okay. Then I'll let you have yours. Okay.
But I'm trying to find mine here.
Okay.
And you know what? I don't know why I'm not able to find this. Let's see. Oh, this is mine here. Okay. Share. Okay, now we're on. All righty. Slideshow from beginning. There we go. Okie dokie. Yeah, I am definitely not technical. So, yes, as Gary said, we are talking about preventing illness and staying healthy without the use of prescription medications. I found out a long time ago that prescription medications is not necessarily all that in a bag of chips. Okay, so Americans spend over 300 billion with a B on prescriptions every year, yet we are becoming sicker instead of healthier. And that's been happening for a long time, since Big Pharma ever came into our world. The use of prescription medications is the third leading cause of death in the US, called iatrogenesis. Anyway, you won't see that usually on any charts, but they will say that, you know, that the main cause of, or the main death, cause of death is heart disease. And it is. And we keep going down, but why do we get all of this? That's what we need to know. We are definitely over-medicated though, and we need to move on from there. So prescription medications are purely for symptoms. That's exactly what they do. They cover symptoms and are never intended to heal or cure anyone. Why? You can follow the money and figure that one out. That said, they can undoubtedly save lives sometimes, absolutely. And we're happy to have those times. But as you can see over to the right, they all have side effects because they are all synthetic medications, and our bodies do not like those. But there are many, many natural, healthy alternative therapies available. And when you give the body the tools to work with, the body is designed to heal itself. Well, I didn't spell that right, did I? I got H-E-A-L-T, healed itself. Okay, so there are alternatives for insomnia, anxiety. There's natural painkillers. There's medications or alternatives for diabetes, for cancers, for depression, for infections and high blood pressure, you name it. There are alternatives for eradicating or preventing just about anything you can think of. Way before Big Pharma came along, we were one of the healthiest countries in the world. And now we are one of the sickest countries in the world. So how did we get here? How did we get so sick? How did we get so sick in the first place? I think we could probably figure that one out. Do we eat the right things? Do we drink the right kind of water or enough water? Do we get enough exercise? Probably not, because we live in a pretty much sitting in front of Zooms anymore instead of getting out and doing things. We can even sit in front of the TV and do a little exercise if we want to, but we're home. We'll think we'll probably rest a little bit. Are we breathing good air, and are we breathing properly? Do we get enough sleep? How's our mental and emotional health? I'll bet it's not so dandy. So now I want everybody to chime in. Let's see how many natural alternatives we can come up with. I'll get you started here. There are essential oils. There's massage therapy. There's exercise, or this shows rebounding. There's something called red light therapy. There are frequency therapies. There's acupuncture, lots of really good supplements, chiropractic, homeopathy, just to name a few. How many can anybody else come up with? I'm going to stop sharing my screen and let's have this discussion.
Well, Judy, one of the things that people, because a lot of people have pain, and that's a big deal for a lot of people, is wild lettuce. You can boil that down and make a paste out of that, which is better and stronger than most any pain med out there.
Ooh, sounds interesting, Brent. Wild lettuce. Why? Yep. Where would I find wild lettuce?
It grows almost everywhere.
I don't know that I'm a big hiker. I don't recall ever seeing that. It's interesting. And would I know it if I walked past it?
Let's look that up and
Okay.
do some research on that.
All righty. That's very interesting, though. Anybody ever hear of black seed oil?
Oh yeah, I heard that cures lots of stuff. Yeah.
The mantra on black seed oil is it cures everything but death. I have a list of, I think it got cut off, but it's supposed to be 100 ways that black seed oil can work well with you, just such as it starts off #1 was promotes heart health, which is good because heart health is the #1 killer or heart sickness, heart disease. Treats lymphoma, prevents anemia, promotes liver health, helps chest congestion, removes gallstones, relieves stress. Black seed oil for pregnancy, relieves arthritis. Well, just to name a few. I'm not going to go through all of those, but you can look those up yourself. But I know I have black seed oil in my cabinet. Do I take it every day? No, I take it when I remember, but I always remember when I take it that I feel better.
Judy, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
When you take it, how much do you take?
A teaspoon.
Yeah, because
Now,
I now take half a teaspoon in the morning and half in the evening.
That's fine. Yeah, that's a lot of people take it that way. A lot of people say, "Oh, I can't stand the taste of that." You can get them in capsules as well, but
And I heard it
doesn't
works.
bother me.
I heard it even works. I heard it even works better if you take it with some raw honey.
Oh, could be.
Wow. Yeah.
Would the black seeds?
Would the black seeds itself help? Just like
I would imagine. I've never seen those by themselves like that.
We put them on bread and.
Well, see, you've got things that we don't even have.
Yeah.
Right.
I used to get a soap that had black seed oil in it. And is this, I guess, the same stuff? And I loved that.
I would imagine so. What did you love about it, Melanie?
It just made my skin so nice. You know, my skin can be dry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just really loved it, and it's hard to find it. And well, it was hard to find. It's been hard to find for.
That sounds very interesting. Probably it's hard to find because it works so well.
Well, and apparently the Egyptians used it.
Okay.
I'm just wondering, I guess the same thing, because that's all it's called is black seed.
Well, probably it would be the same thing, especially when it did such nice things for your skin.
So you get the oil like what, at the health food store or something?
Well, for me, and yeah, I would say a health food store would have it, but for me, I get a lot of my things from my local co-op, and everybody doesn't have that, and I'm very grateful and privileged to have a local co-op where most of the things in that store, it's like a grocery store, but most of the things in the store are good for you. They don't even let in certain things.
There is one near me. I'm running out. Yeah.
Yeah. Give it a whirl. Give it a try.
Judy,
now that said, my local co-op does not have a black seed oil that is as potent as the one that I have. And I think I got mine probably from online somewhere. But look at the potency and see how much it tells you to take. I wish I could tell you what the potency should be, but look it up and do a little research on it first. Don't just pick up the first thing you see.
You.
Great.
Alan.
Yeah, 16 days ago, I got a blood clot, and I was not able to walk and not able to see correctly because I have double vision. So the next remedy we should mention is signaling molecules.
Is what?
Signaling molecules.
Oh, signaling molecules. I
Yeah.
thought you said cigarette something.
No, not at all. It has helped me a lot. I only have a little bit left with my left eyes, so it's circling a little bit around. And that's all.
Uh-huh.
So only 16 days. And the nurses at the hospital, they said, "What have you done?" So because after just 4 days, I was getting home again from the hospital. But it was a tough time.
Wow,
But
but
anyway,
it was.
I'm good now.
What was your eye doing?
Well, it was moving a little bit like this. So, and still doing that. But I'm training, so it will recover completely.
Okay, Guy, I want to tell you one other thing that, I
Yeah.
noticed when I tried it is, the new thing, mood. And I guess what's in it is maybe ashwagandha or something.
Yeah,
That
fine.
when I took it, I was looking at a piece of paper, like reading about it. And I looked at this lady and I said, I just read that without my glasses.
Yeah.
And she said, you're the second person that's told me that, and we've just started, and my chiropractor said your eyes, it's the one of the reasons you can't see well is your eyes like wiggle
Yeah.
back and forth, and that so I'm assuming this, rests your eyes. So I thought I might give you that tip since you're having that problem.
Yeah.
And getting
Another thing-
results with redox, of course.
Another thing is that belief is very important, and goal setting.
What's
And
very important?
belief and goal setting. You have to believe that you
Belief.
get, yeah. you have
Belief
to believe.
and
Goal setting.
Goal setting.
thank you.
It's very important. So for
Absolutely.
me, it helped me a lot, really. Now, another thing that you also can do is go to the healer. Some of the things that you are suffering with, well, it can go away. So I have done that several times. So yeah, that's one of the other things that you don't have to buy. You can just do it.
I'm having a little trouble understanding some
Yeah.
of the words get a little quiet.
Okay.
Put it in the chat. That one thing that you said, is it goal setting?
Yeah.
Did you say that again? Okay.
Goal setting.
A lot of times when people are doing certain routine things and that sort of thing, coming into what you're talking about, belief and well, the belief part of it is when you're doing something, especially like if you're meditating or whatever, if you constantly say something in your mind like, thank you, God, for my healing. Thank you, God, for my healing. It brings in the positive vibrations that you need into your body, and it helps your body to heal, as well as God helping your body to heal, of course. So I think that makes a big difference, because we can block a lot of good things with negativity without even realizing that we're doing it.
You see, here in Denmark, it's springtime right now. So walking in nature is really important because there's a lot of energy out there. This is also because you want to have an extra blood circulation. So of course you are walking and walking and walking, and the good air, well, it also helps. So yeah, that's how it is.
Yep.
I wanted to mention also that making contact, physical contact with the ground, like walking barefoot,
Grounding.
or
Yes.
walking along a lake or a body of water or whatever, helps to also draw the body back into electrical equilibrium.
Yep.
The way that it naturally is supposed to be, and that helps the healing processes. and all of the processes of the body to balance out and regulate and become quicker and more efficient. And this has been proven.
Oh, yeah.
Also, if you grounding yourself when you're sleeping, by the way, there are covers if you don't have that are actually conductive, and you can put those on you, plug them into a wall or plug them into a source that's grounded to the ground. And it really helps to sleep, getting that good restorative sleep all night long. And so that for many people, that's helping too.
Absolutely.
Gary, I like, what about like around here, there's cement around, does it still work if you're barefoot on the cement, or does it have to be, I'm thinking of in the garden, and the reason that I'm asking is because I'm afraid in the city to go on the grass, because I'm afraid that they spray it, you know, maybe with Roundup or something. I don't know. So what do you think about that?
Well, barefoot on cement's not a good idea in the city.
Well, no, I'm thinking about, you know, there's a garden. I'm in a complex here, and there's a garden in the back. We all have gardens. It's really nice, but there's gardeners, and I don't know what they're putting on.
Hopefully they're putting in good stuff.
Oh, maybe there's a way I can find out.
In cement, you have the sand and the gravel, and it is conductive to the earth. So you will get the free electrons. We're getting the grounding, the free electrons from the earth, and that helps our body with the glutathione is what gives us the free electrons to regenerate all our other antioxidants and the anti-inflammatories. But when we can get more of those into our body, like from grounding, and those grounding pads, you can buy those offline or from Niken, and you can sleep with your feet on those all night long, and they're grounded to the earth ground. And so, yeah, there's a book on it called Grounding, and it is fabulous.
Dr. Gary, this really is a good idea. Thank you, Brent. This has been fantastic. Okay, being quiet.
Yeah, well, great. No,
did
get
you have
yourself a spot in the garden and get your hands into the dirt. And that actually is
just pulling weeds outside.
Yeah,
helps.
And that's
Judy,
one of
did
the
you
most.
have your hand up before?
That's one of the most important things Gary just said about your grounding, getting your hands in the dirt.
Yes.
In the book by Reuben Jordan, who's the owner of Garden of Life, he had massive Crohn's disease, and he found out what healed him after 500. Massive research. Was the soil bacteria. People are too clean. They, they need to get their hands in the soil, back to the earth. Besides the grounding, the soil bacteria is the main thing. I think Dr. Bush and Gary knows lots about is that soil bacteria.
Stop using that stuff on your hands every time you go into the grocery store and wiping everything down with trying to clean this, that, and the other thing. You need to have the dirt and it helps to build your immune system. If you think that your hands are dirty, they're going to be just as dirty when you're picking up the groceries and that sort of thing. Just get home and use good old-fashioned soap and water. And keep your hands out of your mouth and your eyes.
Yeah, by the way, you're probably not going to find the good beneficial bacteria in the grocery store, so it doesn't matter. The good beneficials are actually out in the ground, in nature. You actually breathe them in as you're walking in nature.
Yeah.
So.
But you're harming your good beneficial bacteria when you're using that Purell or whatever else you're using too.
So what I'm going to do, I'm never going to use my gloves in the garden when gardening and then put the gloves on for the supermarket.
There you go. Oh, Josephine.
Hello, my son has a question with regards to grounding.
Okay.
Say hi.
Hello.
Hi there.
So I've been listening to you guys talk about grounding and its benefits and stuff, and it sounds really great. I've been trying that stuff out in my garden, but at the same time, like, how do you prevent, say, contracting parasites or something from the soil? Or are there parasites in the soil?
Good question. Gary, you're shaking your head.
Okay,
Go
yeah.
ahead, jump on in there.
The great majority of the parasites that you'll find are actually the ones that are in nature. You come in contact with them anyway. Your immune system, in fact, will build up tolerance and even fight them in certain areas. Now, you're correct that you may contract parasites and such, and we all have them. In fact, we all have viruses,
Mhm.
have bacteria, we all have everything running around with us. What we need to do is to maintain our physical bodies strong enough to be able to combat these things that are around us. Now, I've made nano silver that will kill parasites that we can't get rid of. Let's say malaria. And there are other parasites in the environment that are difficult to get rid of. And so those need to be, and they should be, studied individually and eliminated. But it's interesting because here in the United States, there are no parasitical infections. None. Nothing that we hear about. And yet when you go into some of the areas that are underdeveloped, and often that's because human waste, mosquitoes and bugs that carry the parasites and birds and such are exposed to areas that are not cleaned up, where they can fester. And okay, then you're getting into trouble when you get too many of them.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of nano silver because, and I'll spray it in my mouth about 20 to 40 times a day, and sometimes even more if I feel like I need it for some reason. And I know it's killing parasites in me, which we all have, as he said.
Yeah,
Brent.
I trained a couple of colon therapists when I was training, and had them. I did that, and they said that 80% of everybody they see has worms and parasites when they flush them out. And I didn't have any, but I says, well, I always had done the master cleanse at least once a year, where you run the salt water through you for the first few days, and the rest of that. If you fast long enough, it'll flush them all out too. And one of the only blessings of that COVID thing that came around was the spotlight on ivermectin, and that is an amazing thing that will kill all those and flush those out of you. So that was the one blessing that came out of the COVID. The yin and yang was the ivermectin. So yeah, you can get some, especially like Lyme's disease, little eggs from the limes and stuff. But like Gary says, if your immune system's strong, it's gonna take care of all that. And then if you're fasting good regularly, and it's gonna kill most of that stuff. But we just learning like what we're learning right now. Knowledge is power, and when you put knowledge to use constructively, that is true power.
Absolutely. Thanks, Brent. Melanie.
What the heck is ivermectin?
Ivermectin.
What is that?
Ivermectin. Ivermectin is an anti-malarial drug that's been out for a long, long time, although we don't use it that much around here for malaria, but they found out that it does kill off parasites and all kinds of things like that. And
But isn't that what Dr. Gary just said? The silver.
Ivermectin, if you have trouble getting it, all you do is go to your pet store.
Yep.
Or
Yep.
go to an IFA or your farm outlet or whatever, and they use it on pigs, horses, and animals all the time for parasitical infection. Yeah, it's very, very safe.
Didn't you just say that's what the nano silver you made?
No, that's different.
Yeah, the nano silver actually works on the parasites also. If they and viruses, if they get to overpower your body, if you need those, because there will be a time where your immune system won't be able to keep up, and that's when you need help.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Gary's right. That's the place to get it. It's IFA. I go down and buy it down there for less than $20, and I use it for 5 days. And I'm gonna, because now I learned about it, I'm gonna run it through me at least twice a year, because it'll just keep everything clean. It was been around for 20 years. They've used it in all the underdeveloped countries to take care of their parasites and all of that stuff. It got the Nobel Prize, I think, in 2015. And then they tried to, sideline it so that they could make, get that vaccine out, because that was curing it. Dr. McCulloch used it on all of his patients and cured all of the COVID and stuff. So it is a really a good thing, and it's cheap, and you can buy it right over, at the farm store.
And what's IFA? You said I could get
Intermountain Farmers, any farm store, where they give it to horses and cattle and sheep. Most stuff that they give to animals is the same stuff they give to us to make us better. And it's the same stuff that'll cure the ulcer in cattle, will cure the ulcers in us. I mean, it's all the same stuff. I mean, it's amazing what a racket it all is.
Wow. We've discussed for 35 minutes, and I think we're going to turn this over, the other half of the program, over to Dr. Gary now.
All right. Well, you've heard a lot of things, from Judy. Say, hey, these alternative solutions, including black seed oil, including ashwagandha, including grounding and everything, they seem to work. Now, the question is, why in the world does not the mainstream medical profession understand some of these alternative therapies and use them, and why do they work? And so maybe I want to go, since I'm a scientist, I have a PhD in atomic medical physics, and I've been doing medical research for many, many years on the level of the atomic and molecular level. So by the way, here are the slides, Judy, that you had. I put them in the same format. So we've been through these. I can use the last one though. The question is there a scientific basis for all of these alternative therapies, and what do you need to do, or where do you need to go in order to find the one that might be helpful to you? And I also am a proponent of meditation and prayer. And many times we do need to tap into that higher source when we are considering these things, so that we can feel out what's right for us. Rebounding helps your lymphatic system, for example, to move the garbage out of your body, because and we know this, muscle contractions, changes in the gravitational pull and such, as you rebound, help to stimulate the circulation of the lymphatic fluids, very, very well. Massages and other types of things also stimulate the lymphatic fluids and loosen muscles and such. Essential oils, there are numerous studies that have been published on essential oils, you know, like lavender oil for relaxation, for sleep. It works. The red light therapies, by the way, work off the principle of redox, of actually stimulating mitochondria inside your cells to produce more of the reactive oxygen species. So the redox compounds are produced naturally when you shine red light on you, on the infrared light. Blocking nerve centers. And so I thought all this was hooey, that it was just, you know, there's nothing to it, until I realized that when you do the acupuncture, in acupressure, you are actually stimulating some of the nerve centers in your body. And that's very important. You can block pain. And you can directly stimulate nerves. The mental aspects of this, by the way, have been studied over 300 years. Every single scientific study that we do uses a placebo now. Placebo is something that only tricks your mind to say that you are going to become better. And just by tricking your mind, it increases greatly the chances of your recovery. Do we realize that? I wish the doctors would use these tools. You know, Brent said, or Alan, I'm sorry, said, you need goals. You need to want something. You know, you need to be able to adjust your mindset. We had a wonderful discussion on that last week and the week before. Norma and others have really done wonderful thing. The mind has the capacity to heal. And then this homeopathy, I didn't understand how that worked, you know, at all, but I studied it, and I found that there's actually physical reasons, or traces, that homeopathic substances leave inside the water, and that actually do physiological things in your body. So there's reasons for this. One of the greatest reasons, I guess, is to understand is that we are physical beings. Our body is perfectly adapted to use the natural elements in our environment for food, protection, for energy, for all the purposes and needs of our body. These things are provided for in nature. The things that are not able to in nature, that are not in nature, then are poisons and toxins. And that's the reason that we have a lot of the secondary effects from medications, because they're taking something in nature and then they're isolating it and making it much more concentrated and such. And many times the liver is rejecting it, so they have to increase the amount so they can push it through the liver, actually killing the liver often, and kidneys, in the process of trying to retain or get enough in your body to make a difference. And that's kind of an unnatural way of doing things. And may I suggest that the primary medical thing should be natural resources, because they don't hurt you. They don't kill you as much as the unnatural or chemical or produce substances in our environment can hurt you. And so use them to plentifully. And they should be a primary wall of defense, because we are natural beings. Then their secondary or alternative should be, well, now our body can't handle it. We have to go in and check out what the medical world has. We know now from more than 100 studies and million people, or hundreds of studies, millions of people in these studies, that 80% of cardiovascular disease can indeed be prevented. And the question is, well, how can we prevent these things? So actually, this is so calling. It's so important, so important to me to understand that we have in our hands ways to prevent 80% of disease, cardiovascular disease, #1 killer. We have it in our hands. What is it? And these things are not part of our normal education process when it comes to healthcare. And so I set up the cellular health coaching program to educate people simply on what the body physically needs in order to be able to function. And one thing it needs is good electrolytic water. It needs hydration. And 70% of in the United States suffer from dehydration. This is because we take medications, laxative, we eat a lot of carbs, which cause dehydration. This incurs fatigue, dementia, Alzheimer's, heart disease, diabetes, reflux, arthritis. When the body does not have enough water, it simply does not function correctly. And that's terrible. You know, gaining weight and depression, skin problems and high blood pressure, all can be prevented if we just hydrate ourselves. 22% of cardiovascular disease has been linked or associated with dehydration. And so, you know, hydrate yourselves. So we prepare electrolytic water by getting a bottle that has a liter. We put a little pinch of mineral salts or sea salt inside of that water and take about a liter bottle. We need about 2 of these liter bottles a day. Then we put fresh squeezed orange juice, lime or lemon juice inside. And then you prepare 1 to 3 liter bottles of this a day and drink them during the day. Drink it during the day. It's about as easy as you can possibly get. And that way we can prevent 22% of cardiovascular disease. Simple, but effective, the most effective that we have. Okay. Hydration in the cardiovascular system increases the blood volume, increases blood flow, dilutes the blood sugar, fats, and other things that cause trouble, reduces hypertension, reduces acids that lead to oxidation, and increases the conduction of electrical impulses that our cardiovascular system needs. The second natural thing is simply plants. And we were talking about black seed oils and other type of specialty plants, but we also have those that we eat every day. Inside the plant is produced all of the things that are needed by our cells in order to function. If they are deficient, our cells won't function. In fact, we'll be subject to increased amounts of cancer, increased cardiovascular diseases we mentioned, and also neurological diseases and imbalances of hormones. Everything is associated with deficiencies in micronutrients. Now, we have plenty of fats and sugars, usually, and amino acids in our thing. What we're usually deficient in is the micronutrients, which are the greens, reds, oranges, purples, and the things that we see in our plants. You can see in this garden how just a simple infusion of micronutrients can make the difference between kind of sickly plants and very healthy plants. It's the same thing with us. In our environment, we need to eat these plants that have these things in there. Different colors have different types of things: red lycopenes, oranges, beta carotene, vitamin C, greens, and make a smoothie if you can't eat them, raw. Yeah, you can eat them raw. You can go to your vegetable department, and then also we have on top of broccoli and spinach the perfect blend of probiotics of bacteria as are found in nature. And they will, you talk about these digestive diseases, Crohn's and lupus, and some of these things can actually be either reversed or prevented by just being able to take these things that are in nature. And It increases our vascular tone, regulates blood pressure, etc. In fact, it does almost everything to sustain and fortify your system. If you are fighting a disease, you need to have the strength of these micronutrients. You need to have the fuels. You don't send your armies out into battle without supplies. You've got to give them what they need. And so that's number one, nutrition. And then we look at exercising muscles in the musculoskeletal system. That's how you strengthen bone and strengthen muscle, period. Muscle strengthening exercises are probably the most important, understanding how to do those. You have an idea what your muscle capacity is and how it can demand growth in your body. We know that if you don't use them, you lose them. And that's true in all areas. So use them. And your strength and your health and your immune system and everything really increases. So there's another tool. Exercise improves a whole bunch of stuff. I don't even need to go through this. This has been proven medically for so long. Even the doctors are starting to say you need to get exercise. And so, it's gradually making its way into where it should be, into the medical profession. Respiration, supplying oxygen, also is very important. So these are the primary things for the prevention of disease. Primary. Once you've covered these guys, then you've actually gotten rid of 80% of the risk. You've also fortified your body. You made it able to fight. You've been able to, your immune system is able to work. And then you look at sleep. And this is where the body does fight. While you're sleeping, your body is cleaning up. It's cleaning up the rogue cells. It's cleaning up the different problems if you don't get enough sleep or you have too much anxiety or worry. Then you're robbing your body of these things. Stress, by the way, shuts down your immune system. So as cortisol goes up, your immune system is less active. And then as sleep takes over, your immune system increases in efficacy. 4, 5, 6, 10 times the efficacy. You can heal while you're sleeping much faster than you can heal while you're awake. So anyway, that's it. And then we've talked a little bit about the mind in all these other sessions, how the mind itself affects blood circulation, hormones, immune defense, nerve stimulation, and energy production. So it's a whole package. There isn't one thing that really does everything, but it is the whole package. And this is what we need. This is what we need as far as education in our community. So if we change our way of thinking, we've been given a beautiful mind that can get us anywhere that we decide to go. And all we need to do is put that mind into action and take us to the destination that we want. And keep that destination in your mind as Brent was saying, keep that goal in your mind. Let you know that these goals are there. This is what you want to achieve. And let your mind know that is what you want to achieve. And then you'll be able to get there without question, just as starting a car will get you to a grocery store. So that's about it for my thing. I'm sorry, I have a tendency to go on, as you people know, with these type of things, but I think they're so very important.
Fantastic.
All right, great. So yeah, now I'm going to just turn it over to you guys again, and we can resume our discussion.
Gary, can I ask you a question before now? Because I have been drinking the water with a pinch of salt and lemon, but then I read that drinking from a copper bottle is very good. What is your opinion on that?
Copper is very
Shall
important.
I put the salt in it still and the lemon?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Copper is fine. Very good in many cases. There used to be copper tubing in our plumbing
Mhm.
systems here, which provided us with plenty copper. And copper is needed. Copper is great for our immune system and such. So it's not going to hurt if you put it in a copper bottle.
One of the micronutrients.
Yeah.
But shall I put the salt still and lemon in this bottle?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's fine.
Thank you.
Peg.
I have a couple things. Okay. One, it's believing in the science. And if it's one thing that I've learned in all of this and going through the class and everything, people just need to believe in the science. I mean, I keep telling the same person over and over and over again about one, ASEA, and then the hydration thing. It's not just about drinking plain water.
Mm-mm.
So they don't get it that when you can make your own electrolytic water by adding the salt and the lemon, I guess they just don't get that, you know. So for me, it's believing in the science. And I want to say another thing about the nerve thing. In 2015, I had a 30% fracture in my L3. So I had a lot of pain, constant pain. And I just happened upon a good a back specialist doctor that when I got there, he told me after 12 weeks of PT and no call from a Kaiser back doctor, I went back and they said, well, he's not doing that anymore. And now I'm thinking, well, that can't be. This was an occupational hazard department with that. I'd never been through that before. And I thought to myself afterwards, well, that can't be. I'm not the only person here that has this problem. But anyway, so I said, okay, I'll pick this doctor. So they had to give me a transfer out of Kaiser to this other doctor, this back specialist. And he said, okay, you got 3 options: surgery, cement infusion, what else did he, and there was something else, or a shot. So I took the shot because it was less invasive. So that pain shot lasted for 5 days. So then when I go back, and this was all through insurance thing, because my benefit of that shot didn't meet their number of benefit, the next thing that he proposed was denied. So he said, okay, I know what I can do. Smart person. Because he worked with like athletes and, so he put in for a medial branch block. Okay, so they took that. And that's actually what ended up happening. So since then, I haven't had any pain. And what that was cauterizing those nerves that was causing the pain. So to me, it's like believing in the science of things. And that's the one, thing that I keep telling people, just like with the ASEA, the same person. Right now, she has a cat that's got CKD, which is chronic kidney disease. And so I took over some of that, and I don't know where they are with it, but she said, well, I just still want to know what does it do? And I tried to explain to her it's all about the cells, outside and inside. And so, I think, and when you mentioned about, yes, I feel that doctors should, study, they just don't study up on natural things. It's like I took my cat and I knew that I needed the antibiotic for the cat because it had an infection. I could smell it. And it's $191 walking in the door for an initial exam. And then the person comes in and tells me, well, I can't find anything wrong with him. And I'm saying, well, didn't you smell he had an infection? No. I said, well, I think you better go back there and check his mouth. So yes, after she lists all these things that they can do, cha-ching, 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 I said, okay, out of everything that you listed here, what is going to give you the best indication of what's wrong with them? Okay, so that was the blood panel. Okay, fine. Then she comes back and says, well, from that, there really wasn't anything that really listed what was wrong with him, but she ended up giving me the antibiotics. And then I also told her about the ASEA because I started giving him that. And then she said, so she writes on the thing, give the antibiotics for 14 days and no ASEA. She clearly doesn't even know about what the hell she's talking about. So I gave him the antibiotics for about 3 days and then and I was continuing giving him the ASEA, and that was the end of that. But it's all about the science that people just don't get it.
Yeah, I understand that. You know, I talk with doctors all the time. And I'll say, well, here are the pathways in the body that cause these things to happen. And we're talking about cell signaling pathways and cell signaling and such. And I go into that a little bit with the doctors, and they say, oh, I remember reading about that somewhere, or, you know, oh, I remember in medical school, you know, 20 years ago. They don't know how cells work.
I mean,
So the doctors don't know what, you know, what is going on. They're not educated that way. You'd actually need a PhD researcher in order to be able to tell you.
By design. Oh, I didn't say that.
Yeah. So no, that's okay. I mean, they get very good at diagnosing disease, but they're not that great at being able to come up with a protocol. And anyway, that's it. That just, you know, they rely on the pharmaceutical companies to come up with protocols for. Yeah. But there are other things out there, by the way. You know, I thought I had the same thing when I was younger. I said, you know, we spend how many billions of dollars on medical research, and we should know. Until I realized, well, they don't research natural.
Right.
Or
they'll find a medication.
unpatentable technologies. They don't even research them.
Right.
So they don't even know what's better in that regard. So it's up to us, I guess, to kind of research that and find the ones that work for us. Yeah, and the natural ones are usually the most effective anyway.
And just one more thing. So in January, I don't know, I think I had some kind of close to RSV thing. It was horrible. I mean, I'm not one to really take, you know, a lot of stuff and what have you, but I was taking Mucinex. I never drank so much cough syrup in all my life, and doubling up on my C and what have you. But it was just really hard to get rid of whatever that was. But one of the things, it really did attack my lungs. So I'm researching, you know, all natural things of what can help the lungs. And one of them was like ginger and honey. And so I did try some ginger tea, but then I thought to myself, well, this is nothing. So I actually got raw ginger and made my own and just kept up with that. And then I found out that beets is good for your lungs. So it's like I would just go to all of the natural things. Of course, I was raised like that too. Would always use Chinese herbs when we got sick or what have you. And I finally got over that, but it took more than about 6 weeks or more. So I believe in the natural things of life rather than medication, because I feel medication just really kind of masks it and doesn't help you get rid of it or causes other things. Like I don't even understand how they can put a lot of these drugs out on TV now, and then they have all these side effects. Well, it might kill you. Well, who in the hell will take that? Not me. But I think people become so desperate that they'll try anything.
Hey, Peg, one of the things that helps me most when something's going after my lungs or my grandkids is I'll nebulize, you know, 8 milliliters, 10 milliliters of Redox, and then later 10 milliliters of nanosilver. And within a couple of days, it usually cleaned my lungs right out.
Yeah.
Melanie.
Melanie,
Melanie,
sorry.
I had to move with one hand. Okay. Yeah, this is totally different. I just wanted to ask, is it okay? Because, you know, when you make the water, is it okay to keep it in the fridge? And is it not good after a couple of days? or is it okay? I mean, does it need to be like lemon on the spot?
Yes. It's
Yes,
a good
what?
idea to make it fresh.
Okay.
Okay, so make it fresh every day, 2 liters of it every day. The amount that you don't drink, toss it and make it fresh again the next day.
Okay. It's just that it gets hot here in the summer and it goes bad really fast. That's why.
Okay, I haven't noticed that. I've been doing this for a while, and if you just put just on the maybe 4 or 5 drops of lemon juice, you can go up to 10 drops of lemon juice if you like it with the sea salt or the mineral salt.
Right.
It lasts a day. If you keep it out on the counter for days, maybe not so.
Oh, you must have an air conditioner.
I know.
That might be a difference.
Okay, yeah, just
Okay,
like to
well, anyway,
I like to
Melanie,
make it advance for my
it's
boyfriend.
really not hard to go and just, fill up another glass of water and then.
Oh,
So
well,
you
in
can do it glass by
glass.
glass if you want. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
As long as you're not using tap water, hopefully.
So this is what I use filtered water, but here's what I do. I go downstairs, I fill up my glass with a little bit of this, and I have my salt shaker right at the on the counter, and my lemons in the refrigerator, and I just and then squeeze in the lemons. I've never had problems with getting it. But anyway,
I mean, you have like so you put a little less lemon then and a little
yeah,
less.
I took maybe 3 or 4 drops. After a while, you get a taste for it, so that you can feel when it's being absorbed.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I make
do,
it good rich because my boyfriend, okay.
Yeah, it's all for me reaction. If I take my water and I drink it and I feel ugh, then it's not right. If I get it right, then I drink it. I say, you can feel it kind of getting into your body. Then you know that you did it right.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Gary, Uni has a question in the chat. She wants to know where she can get your nano silver.
Oh, nano silver. You have to talk to my wife on that right now. Yeah. So you just have to talk to my wife, Iris. And you can just by leaving your information. You should be in the Facebook group, so you can do a private message to my wife from the Facebook group. All righty.
Well, we are past
done?
time. This has been a great discussion. Any last minute really have to's, questions or anything like that? Comments?
Yeah, what about our books?
Oh,
Books are coming out. I have to tell you that I'm right now in a spot where a little bit of a financial pinch, and I'm doing as I can. So
yeah.
it'll be slower than usual, but
You and most everybody else, Gary, we know that.
okay.
Josephine, real quick.
Hi, yeah. So, another question. So, a while ago, Dr. Gary mentioned red light treatment, red light therapy.
Mhm.
I was studying about electromagnetics in my physics class, actually, and I found it rather interesting how my science textbook would relate like a certain kind of ray and how a human would react to like exposure of that ray. So I was wondering, what is the relationship between these rays and the human body, and like how does that work?
Okay, wonderful. The frequency of light is important because each frequency of light stimulates different parts of the body, different things. Or if it's visible light, most of it is bounced off, and it doesn't even get into the body. Infrared light does penetrate about 1 centimeter. And it does stimulate the mitochondria, as I mentioned before, inside the energy factories of the cell to make more of the reactive oxygen species, of the redox, of the cell communication stuff. So it depends on the different frequencies. I don't have the ability to sit down with you right now. I'd love to. And we could go over the different frequencies and how they affect the different areas of our body. But we're bathed usually in enough light. So if you get out into nature and you get into sunlight, you'll get the kind of light that your body really needs. Don't get too much, don't sit there for hours. But just if you go out in your garden and do your gardening, like we said, and you're doing your plants and you're going on your nature walks and stuff, you're getting plenty enough of your light. There are these infrared saunas too. You can go in and buy them. They're really nice, but so different frequencies of light do indeed stimulate different areas of the cell.
Is it okay to put zinc on if you've got like really sensitive skin when you're out in the sun, or does that ruin everything?
That's okay. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it.
The sun is our friend, and it's not our enemy. Just as long as you don't go out and burn yourself, put clothes on, if instead of covering yourself with zinc. How about that?
I don't, not my whole self, like my face and my hands,
Yeah.
That.
I mean, it's okay as long as you get the good natural stuff. You have to be careful.
Yes.
Careful, not to put too many chemicals on you. Anyway, that's great.
Good for your eyes, even. So.
And your skin has enough of omega-3 oils in it. The Dr. Perricone, dermatology professor, Yale University, says that everybody needs to be out in the sun for 20 minutes, 2 or 3 times a week, but then also needs to have enough omega-3s from krill oil or salmon oil, so that the body can do its job and it protects the skin.
Mm-hmm. So melanin is also, as you go out in the sun, you'll get a suntan, that change of your skin color is actually also protection for you. So going out in the sun more often helps you protect.
Spots. I get dark spots.
Yeah, everybody's a little different. So really, it's a science. You have to try to figure out what your body really needs, but it does need sun. And by the way, my friend, which Josephine? Who's your son's name?
Jonathan.
Jonathan?
Yes.
Okay, well, Jonathan, I'm a physicist, and my whole career has been spent on how electromagnetic radiation affects, biological. So there's a lot to learn, and I would encourage you to keep on learning on how these things take place. So the communication systems in your cells and in your body, and the way it uses light and electromagnetic radiation and all other types of communications, chemical as well, and electrical, is just absolutely amazing. It's just fascinating. You could spend your whole life studying this and still not understand it. So
it's really exciting to hear Jonathan ask these questions and be interested in it and everything. It's really exciting, Jonathan.
Thank you. It's all thanks to my mom.
Okay.
Go, Mom.
Keep it up, you guys. All right.
And one last question. Sorry to keep you all waiting, but
That's all right.
does the source of the light matter? Because as far as I know, both the sun and regular LED lights produce the same white light. So does the source of the light matter?
Yeah, it does. The sunlight actually is several orders of magnitude more powerful than anything that you'd find inside, obviously. So actually sun will give you the best reaction. The lights inside, okay. It's a good idea though, to get natural light as you can in your environment.
I am not a fan of LED lights or those mercury. lights. If you do your research, you'll find that LED lights actually emit not good, I don't know.
Yeah, there's different frequencies of light that are not
Yeah.
just not natural. And that
Our incandescent lights have been taken away from us, but as I understand it, we will be able to get them back
okay.
pretty soon. Yeah.
I don't think it really makes that much of a difference if you're going out into nature and you're getting the sunlight.
Well, yeah,
then,
that's
then
best.
you're okay. You know, I've been told several things. You know, there are studies about how electromagnetic radiation from phones, radio towers, and such can affect the physiology, and they do. They cause the the red blood cells to coagulate, and they do a lot of things that are really interesting. But you know, the body can adapt if it's healthy enough. Just to let you know, the body has an incredible capacity to adapt. We have 11 million times more radiation in our environment, electromagnetic, than we had, you know, 150 years ago.
Well, I think
millions of times, and we're not dying away like flies. You know, we're still able to adapt and keep going, and we will always have things in our environment, toxins, poisons, bacteria, everything that are costing our physio. But we need to, if we maintain the strength of body and mind, then we'll be able to handle it and adapt.
I think about that when, especially about the rads, about like earphones and those kinds of things. And I've just decided, because I used to use one like, you know, with your phone, so that you could just, like, your phone rings, you just push the button and there you go. But I think over time, it'll be over time. Let's say in 20 years, we're going to see a lot of people with maybe, you know, tumors in their heads because of it, because of the buildup over time. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's been proven. People who use phones and hold it close to their heads actually build brain tumors on that side of the head.
So I
use your speaker as much as possible.
well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got rid of that.
We have a lot to learn. We have a great deal to learn, and let us keep on doing it. And don't be afraid to experiment, especially with natural substances. Don't be afraid to follow the 10 laws or 20 laws of natural health.
But this is important. Should I stop using my earphones?
Yes,
All
you
right.
should stop using
Okay.
those kind of earphones unless
Okay,
you've got
thank you.
earphones.
I have AirPods. What are they?
AirPods. Okay, never mind. You're all right.
Well, why would that be any different?
Because the air stops the radiation. Now, I don't know if it stops it completely, but it's better than holding it up to your ear.
Yeah.
Well, see, even having that thing, that's why I got rid of it.
We could go in. I could give you a whole table of devices and how much radiation they give off and how much we can tolerate over time.
Yeah.
The best thing is just to be aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
Those white things are not good. She's talking about that they're like the old-fashioned not earphones, but
No, I'm talking about AirPods
AirPods.
Go in my ear.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about
Dr.
too.
McCullough, by the way, never uses them, and he uses one of these selfie sticks to hold his phone, you know, at least a foot or two away from him while he. So you know, it's up to you. I don't know if that's going to help, but to some degree, it does.
It helps, I think, a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, very well. I think we're out of time, aren't we, Judy? Do you have anything else?
Yeah, we're 16 minutes out time.
Yeah, right. Okay. All
but
right.
it's been good.
Along with this time, bless you guys. Wish you the very best. Keep interested. Keep going, and we will see you next week in our next encounter. Thank you so much.
And have another wonderful weekend.
All right. Good.
Thank you, Judy.
Take care.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.